Morning, everybody. 8 a.m., July 1st. Welcome to my channel. Yesterday, pretty much had an open drive. Market opened up, drove, ranged, trended up higher, and then had a little selling by the close. We set basically, I saw a record quarter since 2020. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. And what I saw this morning that I wasn't aware of yesterday is that Korea is going to build some like data centers or something like that, spend something like $880 billion. That's part of the reason semis were pretty strong yesterday. Okay, now we have Kevin Warsh speaking at 9 a.m. So that should be interesting. That should be very interesting. ISM at 10. Okay, I noticed volume today is very subdued. Now we're back in positive gamma, which means our volatility is going to slow down. Okay, it's going to slow down, and we're going into a holiday weekend. So today it will probably not be the best volume, and tomorrow will probably be even worse. Right? That's what's going on. Now I have not taken a trade. 2 days. Yesterday I did almost go long NASDAQ on the first pullback to VWAP. That would have worked. I was betting on a little bit of more of a pullback and I didn't get it, but that trade would have worked. But I was tradeless for 2 days now. So that's just the way it is. Hopefully today I can take a trade. All right. Let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Use market profile and buying profile to find structure in markets along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my edge. It's where I come up with my game plans. And once that market opens up, I use my market internals. I want to see where money flows are going off the open, along with anchor VWAPs, weekly expected move indicator you get for free on my Discord. The weekly and monthly gamma flip points get free on my Discord as well. ICT, a little bit of ICT. Basically my own proprietary trading system. All right, now every morning I do this. Please come join me. Subscribe, set that alert, give you the market story, market economic calendar, market news, technical analysis, and I always give you the long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ and the ES futures later on in the stream. If you want more in-depth coverage, you are going to join my Discord, Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Now let's get right into the futures watch list here, folks. Okay. VIX is up 2% at 16.78. 10-year yield is up 0.88. Dollar's up. Okay. Gold is flat. ES is down 0.27. The Dow is down 0.36. Crude down almost 0.5%. Bitcoin is down to 58K, down 0.5%. Russell is down 0.5%. Bitcoin down 0.5%. Nasdaq's down over a half percent. Ethereum down 0.79. 30-year bonds are being sold. Silver is down 1.21%. Okay, Mag 7 plus. Let's look at it. Microsoft's getting love this morning, up 1.75%. Netflix is also getting love this morning, up 1.39. Meta's up 0.61. Amazon up over 0.5%. The laggards. We have Tesla down 0.44, Broadcom down 0.61, Nvidia down 0.70, AMD down 1.41, Caterpillar down 2.34%. Micron down 3%. So I noticed that the ETF DRAM is down almost over 5.5% today. That's your memory. Okay, so money flows are coming out of that right now. Now, usually when that happens, they get bought up anyway, but who knows? Okay, I don't know. Top sectors. Salesforce. So software is getting a love today. Okay, Salesforce up 3.36%. Palantir up 2%. Oracle up 1.5%. Uber up 0.29%. Now there's the laggers here. And they are Qualcomm down 0.32%, NAM down 0.45%, Exxon down 0.45%, and Walmart down 2%. Walmart down 2%. I don't know why they're down 2%. Have to see. All right, let's go granular. Maybe that will give me a little peak here. But you could see Service now up 4.5%. Oklo got approved for something. Remember their nuclear energy up 4.5%. General Mills, that has been a dog. That is up 4.37%. Atlassian, this is all software. Lockheed Martin, that's defensive. Adobe Software, right? Ring Central, I believe that next one is. All right, let's look who's lagging. It's going to tell me something. I think that's Alcoa. All right, I believe that's Alcoa. Yeah, Alcoa, which is, I believe, aluminum, down 5.4. This is Papa John's, down 4.5. Lamb Research down. Micron down. Western Digital. Nike down. Applied Materials. Okay. Let's move on. Sectors. The leader today is communications, barely a leader though. It's only up 0.07. Lagging. Energy down 0.15. Technology down 0.67. This is something we haven't seen in a little bit. Technology down 0.67 and semis down 1.11. Now, we're going to get into my spread later. My spread hit a new all-time high of dispersion and stock pickers market, which is in that extreme level. Okay. Now, so like I was saying, that spread broke all-time highs. I'm expecting a correction to come. You just never know the timing. Okay. Let's look at the economic calendar now. So we have 30-year mortgage today. It went down a little bit. Now the 10-year yield going up today is not going to help that. ADP employment change coming at 8:15. We have Fed Warsh at 9 a.m. What will he say? What will he say? Then we have ISM data at 10 a.m. Crude inventories at 10:30. Okay. Let's see what the risk here. Equities began July on cautious note, with traders awaiting comments from Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh. At a time when bets on U.S. interest rate hikes are increasing, the dollar rose. Okay. Let's see a Trump schedule today. Let's see. Out of town, out of town. President participates in Freedom 250 train ride. Okay. President participates in a tour. All right. President. Oh, here we go. 3:15. President delivers remarks. 3:15. Okay. Let's get into some news. Let's see if there's any notables here that I'm going to talk about. Nike stumbles as China woes. Cautious outlook tempered turnaround hopes. Paramount offers remedies for Warner deal, making EU approval likely. U.S. removes curbs on Anthropic's latest Fable and Mythos AI models. Mega deals fuel record M&A as boards dream big on takeovers. Bloom Energy, Brookfield expand AI infrastructure power partnership to 25 billion. This has some data center build out higher this morning. G Vernova's flat, but I believe Vertiv was up. Okay. Let's look at this. The U.S. stock index futures slipped, kicking off the second half of 2026, cautiously amid fresh doubts over peace in the Middle East, while investors awaited commentary from Federal Reserve Kevin Warsh. Elsewhere, European shares dropped amid subdued sentiment. In Asia, Shanghai stocks rose, encouraged by robust factory activity data, and President Xi Jinping reiterating a promise of high-quality development. Japan's Nikkei closed higher for the third consecutive session. The dollar hit a 40-year high against the yen, as sharp rise in Treasury yields boosted the currency ahead of U.S. jobs data. Among commodities, oil prices fell more than 1% as traders tracked the negotiations between U.S. and Iran. Gold prices continued to decline for a third session in a row. Okay. Microsoft, let's see here. Tech giant is planning to cut 2.5% of his 2.5% of its workforce. That's probably why it's catching a bid this morning. Okay. What else? Tesla, the company, is expected to report a 5% rise in vehicle deliveries on Thursday for the second quarter. Interesting. Even though they're down, that could boost. Now, that is over the expected move right now. The expected move, it was 408. It is at 419. What does that mean? That means it could rip even higher. All right, that means it could rip even higher. All right, I think we're good. Now, let's look at that spread that I was talking about. Right there. Okay, let's move it out. Made an all-time high of the spread. The spread's never been this ever before. It was here. And I want you to note, look down below, last time we were here, we took a turn down. Okay. And again, this just means stock picker market. Okay. So if you go to dispersion, went up there, pretty extreme. Not as extreme as here. That was, when was that? That was tariffs, I believe. Liberation Day, I think. Now, core 3M is going down to very, very low levels, right? Every time we've been down at these levels, the market has hit tops. So every time we're down here, right, you can see a top, right? Top. Every time we come down here, the market tops. Top, right? That's why I put the spread, right? Just gives me, you know, right here, when we hit this top last time, boop, top, right? You dip down below, top, you dip down, top, you had a big dip down. So, like I said, you never know the timing. Okay, you never know the timing. It's bullish percent index. Let's look at the breadth first. 20 day. 62%. Interesting. The breadth actually went lower on the 20. Yesterday, 62%. Stocks over the 20 day. Let's see the 50 day. 62% went down a little bit. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Now the bullish percent index here of our S&P 500. We are at 57. That went down a little bit. 57 on buy signals. Now the NDX, remember, that was getting a little oversold. Yesterday, it still went up to 46% on buy signals. Let's just drill down into the tech sector and see how that looks. Went up again. Remember, it was getting kind of oversold. Okay. The other thing I was looking at was, I think healthcare was getting a little frothy. Yep, healthcare took a step back yesterday. Eli Lilly dropped back yesterday. Communications dropped back down yesterday. I think, what was the other one I was looking at yesterday? And I was like, ooh, interesting. I said it was on my watch. Let's see, financials went up yesterday. Okay. I think it was real estate. I think that was the one that was just getting, yes, real estate getting a little frothy. All right. We're going to move on. We're going to go into the market internals for yesterday. This market this week, honestly, not great price action. Not great price action. Okay. At all. At all. Okay. So this is your market internals recap. It's just, you know, waiting. Yesterday, this was the pullback, basically. I just didn't get in it. I was looking at the NASDAQ because look how strong tech was. That's why I was looking at the long in NASDAQ. And then these internals, once it caught here, you're not going down. And yet in a quarter, all right, we didn't have that big explosion sometimes into the close, but you basically went up all day, right? Tech up 2.5%, consumer discretionary up 0.89. Communication had a little, in these areas, healthcare was weak yesterday, staples was weak yesterday, energy was weak yesterday, but that is not going to take down the market when tech is up 2.5%. Okay? That's your market internals. Okay? Let's get into the dailies here. Dailies. Right, here we are. Now, notice on my chart, Okay. We know AMD hit its expected move to the upside yesterday. Google hit its expected move to the upside yesterday. We know Amazon and Tesla are also above their expected moves. So, remember last week we hit the expected moves to the downside. Look at SPY. You came very, very close to the expected move to the upside. And guess what? We're already pulling back. Okay? We're already pulling back. We broke this trend line yesterday. Okay? Where are we now? 745 and change. That brings us to here. You're like at the midpoint of yesterday. Okay? That is notable. Already hit the weekly expected move on Tuesday. Okay? On a Tuesday. Futures. Okay. Where are we in futures? We are in a daily supply zone. I said this isn't going to be easy for the market to rip through. You have overlapping daily supply zones. Now, yesterday you closed above the 20, right? And these moving averages are all converging here. That's why I'm saying I don't know what to expect. You do have a little bit of a hammer candle here. We'll see. Okay. Tough sledding above here. Tough sledding. And we're in a new month. July is generally bullish. Not huge, but generally is bullish. August, September, October are generally bearish. So we'll see seasonality plays or not. Qs. That's definitely a strong chart, right? Broke this downtrend. Okay, so that did not come to the expected move to the upside. That is, what is that? 740.81. Okay. Now you are above 20, 9 EMA daily. You're about to cross the 20 with the 9 EMA. Okay. 50 moving average was support on the QQQ. That was bought. That was bought. Okay. Destination. That's a prior monthly high. 741.63. Also like a downtrend line right here. And a couple of weekly highs. Okay. I don't know if we get up there. It's just crazy. It is crazy, this market. Okay. NASDAQ futures. We are in daily supply. We are in daily supply. That is going to not be easy to cut through. Okay, we started going into it yesterday. All right, above the 20, 9 EMA daily, hit the 50-day moving average. Now you're in daily supply. I don't know what we do. We'll have to see. Okay, hourly charts. All right, hourlies. Let's look at these together. Hourly charts. Let me get my little marker out. Okay. So, yesterday, we cleaned up all that structure, right, and went above it into this range, into that range. Okay. I didn't mark that on my chart there. That is a supply zone there. It's a pretty big one. Maybe that's why I didn't mark it, but it was pretty accurate right here. You know what? I have to maybe put that on my chart there. Let's do that. I probably didn't like that supply in the past, but that right there was right there. Okay, I'm gonna add that to my chart. So overhead supply, like I talked about, right? Now there is a high volume node from the past. That is your 7545s. 7545s. That's a ton of volume there, right? We're under that level. Okay, we do have supply right here. And we had poor structure here, but it's been taken care of already. I don't know what to expect today, to be honest with you. We came up to this range. I think it's going to be resistance. We could just be in for a range bound day. Okay, we really could be in for a range bound day. Now, we have a new monthly month-to-date anchor view up and a new week-to-date anchor view up. They are equal. Okay, they are equal because it's a new month. Okay, it's a new month. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the month. The week's here. That's the week to date because obviously the week started on Monday. So that's the month to date. That's the week to date. Okay. You can see the last 4 hours, kind of a doji. Overall, like I said, a little bit of a hammer candle. All right. That is your ES. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Then NQ. Okay. So the NASDAQ's pulling that back a little more, it looks like. And what did we do here, right? You had this poor structure from the past. Oop, hold on a sec. Poor structure from the past. What did we do? You cleaned it up and you went into heavy supply, right? I said it wasn't going to have an easy time. Once it moved up here, it was not going to have an easy time to go up. It just wasn't. Okay, now you do have some poor structure left down below and down below that. Okay, ultimate balance was down at the 297s. A push away from ultimate balance, you get big moves, hence the big move. Okay. You have a high volume node, composite high volume node around the 306.27s that went right in there and rejected. That's just the high volume from the past. Okay, you don't usually get through these areas on first shot. It just doesn't work like that. They act as walls. Okay, so poor structure below us in the NASDAQ. Remember, DRAM Micron is down today. I don't know if there's going to be further selling in that or not. I really don't. They really haven't had a meaningful correction either. But there's some poor structure to take care of here, a little bit. Let's see if that comes to fruition or not. All right. Basically, we broke, you know, this was a big area and we broke out of it and went to the next balance area. That's what we do, folks. All the markets can do is base, trend, base, trend, base, trend. That's all they do. That's all markets do. There's nothing more to it. All right. Let's move on. Move on to the market profile, volume profile. All right. This is your market profile and volume profile. Now you can see clearly here. Remember, the darker shaded area is regular trading hours. The lighter shaded area is the overnight session. You can see we're inside yesterday's session. Okay, so overnight low and overnight high is going to be pretty important levels today. All right. So let's get right into it. Let's do the long and short trade scenarios in the ES futures. First thing we're going to do is break out the session. Okay. Sue. Yeah, it's all about the overnights, really. It's pretty simple. I think to me, what this looks like to me is we could just have a range bound day. Okay, it's setting up for it. It looks like that's what we're gonna do. Unless there's some, again, I don't know what that news catalyst can be. Okay, I don't know what it would be, but definitely setting up for a range bound day. Okay, I'm just looking at levels here, see if there's anything standing out to me that are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not really. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the longs. Okay, pretty simple here. Now, a couple things that can happen here. We do have supply right above us here and right above like the overnight highs. So you're going to want to work that off a little bit. Okay. So two ways I'm going to play along, right? One, you push up, right? Take out the overnight high, 75.50s. Work your way up, right? Maybe even hit previous day's highs. All I care about is they find acceptance. And you want to maybe even find acceptance above the 75.55 yesterday's most traded price, right? As long as you find acceptance here and you get one pullback, buy that pullback, break the high a day, probably try to target the 75.80s. Okay. Now, what's another one, right? Well, if we pull back, take out that overnight low, 75.10s, you have some single prints here from yesterday. Okay. Week to date anchor view up at 75.01, so 7,500 psychological level. If we come back here and you get support, right, with a higher low, that's a goal. That's a long, right? I'd like to have this happening pretty quickly. Let's go long. Target overnight high 75.50. Target yesterday's high 75.67. That's what I'm interested in as far as longs. Okay, shorties. Okay, shorties. So obviously, where the market is, that's why the overnight high and lows are very pivotal. If we come up here, break the overnight highs 75.50, go to 75.55 is the most traded price, right? And then we can't reach yesterday's highs. Fall back under to 75.55 is yesterday's most traded price. Retest it. If the market's showing a little weakness, you're going to want to short that. Target overnight lows, 75.10s, then yesterday's lows, which is around the 74.95s. Okay, now there is a little bit of a confluence low here. You do have the 24-hour most traded price of the week lines up with yesterday's lows, so you could get a nice little ride, possibly to the most traded price of the month, which is 74.60s. Okay. Now, another one. Okay. This would have to be very quick. Quick push up, break yesterday's highs, get a swift rejection with not strong internals, lower high, target overnight lows 75.10s and yesterday's lows. Okay. That's it for ES. NASDAQ. NASDAQ. NASDAQ is in heavy supply. Okay. Got the rejection. Remember DRAM, which has Micron, Western Digital, SanDisk, it is down almost 5.5% today. Is that going to continue? Who knows? I don't know, but right now I know money flows are coming out of that. Okay, so let's get right into the NASDAQ long and short trade scenarios. Okay, so spread out the session, break it out. Boom, just 30-minute bars. All right, I already see some levels. All right, we already have some confluence levels. Now, of course, overnight low, overnight high, of course. All right, a little bit of poor structure left here. Got some single prints from yesterday. Okay. If DRAM does get outflows in tech like it is right now and it continues, we could take our way lower. All right. We could find ourselves going lower. All right. So inside yesterday's session, what are, when I say confluence, lows? Well, the overnight low, okay, which is 302.98, lines up with yesterday's 50% retracement and yesterday's value area low. Remember, 70% of the trading happens in value. Okay, so the value area low lines up with the 50% retracement yesterday and overnight lows. Woo boy. That becomes a very, very important level because, okay, because underneath this, you have single prints from the market profile. You have a bullish fair value gap that is poor structure. Now, it does lead into a demand zone. but you have poor structure. And we have to go introduce back Elfie. Elephant on a toothpick. Elephant on a toothpick. So you have very key levels in the NASDAQ here. Remember, confluence low, value area low, 50% retracement of yesterday's range, and the overnight low. Below that is your toothpick, right? Toothpick, elephant. Should a toothpick hold an elephant? No. No. Okay? That is a very pivotal level. And it goes right into poor structure. So, I don't trade this way, but I know a good friend of mine does. If this market is weak, what you could see is you could set a sell stop market right here and try to rip down this poor structure off the open and, put a 1 point stop on it or something. It's probably pretty viable. Okay? Now, let's get into scenarios. Oh, let me mention one more. Another confluence level. The most traded price of yesterday was, say, 305.24s. That lines up with the overnight highs. Okay, overnight highs. Okay. So you got a confluence high and low from the overnights. You didn't have that in the ES. You have it more in the NASDAQ. Okay. Now we are close to, we're about 85 to 90% net short in the overnights. Okay, you're at the bottom of the range. Sometimes you get a nice little correction with that. We'll have to see. I know you're getting kind of a descending triangle here a little bit. So we'll see. Okay. All right. Let's get into scenarios. On the NASDAQ, I'm going to be honest with you. This looks like the short setting up. So I'm going to start with shorts. Okay. So where we are here. Right. Now remember I said that key level is the overnight low. Right. This is not my style, but I could definitely see the market opening up, driving lower, and taking out that poor structure. Okay. You have a bullish fair value gap at 302.74 down to 301.42. You could clean that right up and then the market can bounce. Okay. That's one. I said that's not my style, but I could see that happening. So I got to put that there. Now, what else could be the case? You have a ton of overhead supply here. So any drive into here, okay? Now I'm going to use the most traded price yesterday, 305.24s in the overnight highs. If you come up here and sweep those overnight, oh, sorry, that's a little too much. If you come up here and sweep those overnight highs, do not reach yesterday's highs. Come back underneath 305.24s, retest the 305.24s, the most traded price of yesterday. That is a short, my friends, with internals that are not that strong. You're going to target the 302.98s, the overnight lows. Now, if you want to hold a runner or just hold the position and the market seems like, whoa, like microns down, semis are down, folks, we can just start running down. Okay, remember I told you the end of that bearish value gap, and then guess what? Yesterday's lows, 334s. It could get pretty nasty. Okay, so you have the confluence low level I gave you, which is yesterday's value area low, 50% retracement of yesterday's range, and the overnight lows. Okay, that level, and it could happen right off the open. It's tricky. It's crazy. Okay, then you get this move. Okay, we'll see. Now let's go to the longs. Now we're talking longs here. Okay. Oh boy, this is gonna happen in front of my face. This could happen right here, folks. This level. I'm telling you right now. We push lower. It could clean all this up, and it might happen pre-market. Okay, in front of me right now. Now, remember what I said about the elephant on the toothpick, right? It cuts both ways. What if that toothpick holds the elephant up like this, like right now, and this bullish fair value gap holds? Got major demand here as well. If it holds, oh, here we go. It's going to do it in front of my face. If it holds, boom, little V bottom recovery and a higher low. you're going to target the overnight highs, 305.55s, and then yesterday's highs, 306s. Okay? This is a major demand zone, hence the bigger border, right? Bigger border means major, a 6-hour, 8-hour, or a 12-hour. It's major. So, the momentum is to the bull side. So, like I said, any pullback in here that gets support, it's probably a buy. Okay? I'm being honest with you. A long up in here is just not exciting to me. Okay? So, what I'm going to say is the bullish for value gap, support in here. So, let me give you that again. Bullish for value gap spans from 302.74 down to 301.42s. Any any support in there is pretty much a long. Okay, now what else do we have down there? A major demand zone. That spans from 302.17s all the way down to 299.35s. I'm thinking anyone in there, you get some support and the market's not that weak, it's probably a long. Okay? That's it for me, folks. Now look at this market. Oh, it's going to do it now. Okay. Let's talk about it. That's it for me today. Now, let me give you the market outlook for today. Remember what I said, right? It's all about the overnight highs and lows. We're inside yesterday's session. To me, it looks like, the easier trade short today. To me. Okay? That's what it looks like. Structurally, to me, it looks like the easier trade right now. Okay? Easier trade right now. Wait a minute. Did it happen, Randy Rand? In the NASDAQ? Did it happen? I didn't even see it. I'm gonna go to the NASDAQ. But remember, ES, overnight lows. Okay? ES, overnight highs and lows, overnight session inside yesterday's session. Okay? NASDAQ, I'm going to go to it now. Ooh, it's going towards it. All right. So, NASDAQ right now. Jump in. You might want to jump in right now. Just do a stop market. Okay? Telling you right now, that level. Now this is where the rubber meets the road here. Okay? Right now. It's going into it. I'm watching it. All right? Look right here. Remember the level I just told you. 50% retracement, value area low, into poor structure. Here we go. In front of my face. All right. This could happen now. So Kevin Warsh is going to be speaking at 9 a.m. too. All right. So if you sell stop market it right now at the overnight lows, where the prior lows were, we'll see. Remember, support in here is bullish. I'm not saying all out short, right? And you don't really know how the market is in the overnight session. You don't have stocks like at the market open, okay? But this is just vulnerable. You have single prints and poor structure below. It's very vulnerable to get taken care of, okay? Very vulnerable. And it's a new month. It's a new month. And like I said, DRAM, which is Micron, SanDisk, Western Digital, are weak today. And they're getting weaker. I just saw it. They're down another percent, down 6.70%. Okay? This is probably going to clear what I just said. At least. Okay? So, I gave you that level. It's working right now. All right? It's working right now. So, here we go. Let's see. I'm looking at DRAM right now. Let's see if it keeps pushing. I don't, like I said, support here is bullish. But the structure with weakness is going to get taken apart, and you have a single print right there. That's emotional buying. Okay? So, support holds there, you go long. If we get weak, we're going to rip that apart. Okay? We're going to rip that apart. So remember, now that the new overnight low is 302.67s, overnight high is 305.55s. Okay? That is your playground, folks. That is your playground. They're both confluence high and lows. Now, this market's going to keep pushing lower now. Here we go. Here it is. Flushy. pushing. DRAM is getting, oh, let's see. DRAM is almost down 7%. There it is. There it is, that level. All right. You short? Randy Rand, you short? Let's see what happens. All right. Everybody, that is it for me today. Smash that like button if you enjoyed that analysis. Okay, smash the like button. All right. Sitting on hands. So, remember, we got Warsh speaking at 9 a.m. So this could all be crazy, okay, before the open. All right. Now, hopefully, you join me every day. Okay? Subscribe, set the alert, give you the market story, economic calendar, market news, technical analysis. And I always, what was I going to say? Yeah, technical analysis, and I always give you long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ and the ES futures. Okay? NASDAQ and the ES futures. We're getting support in that area now, in the NASDAQ. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay? Now, let's talk about Discord. Please come join Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Okay? Now, everybody, we have our plans. NASDAQ right now, I'll give you a quick shot of it. Finding support in the bullish for value gap. That is bullish for right now. Okay? For right now. But just to show you something, just to point it out. If you remember, the prior swing low was here. Remember I said sell stop market? Look at that. So if you had the sell stop market, you would at least got that, right? There's no exact science to it. It's just when you have confluence lows, it just telling you, when they line up together, it just becomes more powerful. Now look, this could still fall apart. Might, don't know. Right? Now everybody, we have plans. I have a plan. Hopefully you have a plan. All right. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. So we will have to see. Okay. Remember, no trade is a trade. And if I don't see you in my room, I should be going live around 9:45 a.m. If I don't see you in there, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Remember, I expect volume to not be great. Tomorrow, probably even worse. We will have to see. And Randy Rand, I saw all the games from yesterday. So I will see. If you're in the room, I will see you. Market's starting to fall again. So let's see. All right, everybody, take it easy.